30 December 1964. Dearest Suzie, received some more mail last night. They are getting better about getting mail to us. I got one letter from you and one from Grandma and a Christmas card from Al and B. That Audrey is a little dull, isn't she? Day before yesterday, I had to take a ship down to Na Trang to be repaired. I didn't plan on staying, but they couldn't fix it right away, so we had to stay overnight and wait for it. They have no facilities in Na Trang for officers passing through, so we had to go into town and stay in a hotel. There is a French hotel right on the beach there. That is where we spent the night. The hotel and the beach at Na Trang are just as pretty as Daytona. In fact, that was a French resort area for many years. Anyway, the ship was repaired yesterday, and we left at noon to come home. There are so many mountains between here and Na Trang, and the weather was so bad that we had to get about a mile offshore and fly about 50 feet off the water to come back. It took us 4 hours to fly back up here. On our way back, we stopped in the city of Quy Nhon to eat lunch. There is an aviation company there. I saw Dave Manning there, and we talked for a while. He came over with the 30 Aviation Company, and he had to tell me where everyone was. I'll bet Brett is really something to see trying to talk. Do you think you could make a tape when he is trying to talk? It would do me a lot of good to hear him. I really miss the little devil. Well, I miss all of you. I don't guess I need to tell you that, though. Did Grandma get down there for Christmas? She told me she was going to try to. Oh yes, Bob Hope was here Sunday. I went to see him. They made their TV show while they were here in Da Nang. It will be shown in the States on the 15th of January. Don't miss it, because I think I will be in it. One shot only, if they don't cut me out of the thing. It should be right after Jerry Colonna sings his song. The cameraman told us that we would be shown there. Let me know if you can see me. I really enjoyed the show. I wanted to take some pictures, but I had 2 pictures left on a roll and I couldn't burn any more on Sunday, so I didn't get any pictures. We had 4 more pilots get shot in Vinh Long Saturday. Goodwin was one of them. He got hit in the face with pieces of shrapnel, but I don't think he was hurt too bad. The others were in pretty bad shape, but I won't go into it because you don't know them anyway. Well, tomorrow should be payday. I hope so anyway. I guess I should close for now. I love you all and miss you very much. Sincerely, Bill. Receiving mail was clearly a lifeline for soldiers like Popi, and complaints about mail become very common in his letters. In a war zone, where isolation and danger were daily realities, letters bridged the emotional gap between soldiers and their loved ones. Poppy's excitement at receiving letters from Suzie, his grandmother, and even a Christmas card from Alan B. highlights how meaningful these small connections were. It wasn't just the contents of the letters, but the act of receiving them that lifted spirits and reminded him of home. Poppy's request for a recording of Brett talking reveals his deep longing to feel closer to his family. In a time before video calls or instant communication, even something as simple as a child's voice could bring immeasurable joy, particularly since he hadn't heard Brett speak, and he knew he was missing an integral part of his childhood. This request underscores how soldiers sought innovative ways to stay connected to their families, relying on technology like tape recorders to bridge the emotional distance. This may be one of the first American conflicts where technology like this could be utilized in this manner. Na Trang's French colonial legacy provided a stark contrast to the realities of the Vietnam War. Once a picturesque resort area, the French hotel on the beach where Poppy stayed offered a brief respite that he compared to Daytona Beach back home. This comparison highlights how soldiers often looked for familiar parallels to make sense of an unfamiliar environment. Having grown up going to Daytona Beach, I can't imagine that they are very similar, but maybe one day I'll get to visit and find out. The journey back from Na Trang further exemplifies the many physical and logistical challenges faced by soldiers and pilots. Flying low over the ocean at just 50 feet to avoid bad weather and mountains wasn't just difficult, but dangerous. This journey illustrates the constant risks that even routine operations entailed. Poppy's matter-of-fact tone in describing the 4-hour flight hints at his growing acclimatization to such dangers, detailing how even going home could become immensely complicated and dangerous. Poppy's mention of payday reflects the practical concerns that soldiers balanced alongside their duties. Paydays weren't just about receiving money. They were moments of normalcy and planning in an otherwise unpredictable environment. For soldiers, budgeting for necessities or small comforts was a way to maintain a sense of control. In Popi's case, it also connected him to his responsibilities as a provider, even from afar, as he thought about the well-being of his family back home. I also find this idea a bit funny, though. The fact that he's over there and still having to worry about bills or budgeting just seems a bit silly. He's getting shot at. There are explosions. And he still has to make sure he knows when it's the first of the month. As a civilian, this idea is crazy to me. The photo I chose for today depicts a group of guys getting ready to jump into the ocean at a beach. I hesitate to believe this was shot in Na Trang because it has a lot of large rocks. You can't necessarily find anything like those in Daytona Beach. This is the final letter Popi wrote to Meemaw in 1964, which means you'll next hear from me in 2025. If you're listening to this, I hope you have a happy new year. May your 2025 be prosperous and meaningful. I'm Alex Lowie, and I hope you have enjoyed listening to this episode of Dearest Suzie and receiving messages from the past that my Popi wrote exactly 60 years ago. I sincerely appreciate your time and interest. Please consider following the podcast on your preferred platform, and if you're enjoying it, I kindly ask that you take the time to rate the show and leave a review. Also, please follow the project on YouTube, X, and Instagram. All likes, comments, shares, and reviews will help grow the reach of this story. The links for these things should be in the description of this episode. Please feel free to email me at dearestsuziepodcast@gmail.com if you have anything you'd like to say. I'd love to chat or to hear about your stories as well. Thank you for listening, and God bless.